No hipsters.
No hipsters.
No hipsters pod.
Hello.
Hello.
Long time no see.
We back. We outside.
Right. Good to see you. Good. I like the look. This is you haven't had this in a while. I like
You
it. I like
getting
it.
you getting natural hair. You getting bare face shoddy today. That's what we getting.
Love it. Episode 66, No Hipsters Pod. It's your boy Ronce, the founder of NoHipstersAllowed.com, and this week our co-host is the one, the only Alexis Garner, aka Jet Set Lex. Jet. All right, so lots to talk about. There's so much go. First of all, election. Honestly, I barely want to even watch. I mean, I looked at the headlines. Georgia is just a disappointment, as always. Texas,
Awful.
disappointment. It's like I can't.
What is
So
it?
yeah, so I guess that would be the first topic, election day, and just how like a lot of people can't really make what I think should be an easy choice, especially with so many rights hanging in the balance right now. So yeah, it sucks that Stacey Abrams lost her second bid for governor, and Herschel Walker is like dangerously close to becoming a senator. So apparently they're going to a runoff, because Warnock won, but not by enough. He wasn't over 50%.
What I'm seeing when I get on, socials and read the news is, they're saying that it wasn't a red wave. But I guess in some of the key places that really mattered to me, it felt like one. So definitely was this Stacey Abrams, for someone who had hopes of one day moving to Texas. I'm like, well, that's off until they get a new governor.
Right.
It's shocking.
Yeah,
To see that,
it's
that occurred in the places.
Yeah, so really, really sad. But yeah, we're still kind of holding out hope for Georgia and the runoff between Warnock and Walker, and see. It's just anyway. The whole thing stresses me out, but we'll see where it goes. Takeoff from the Migos was killed in what was they say was an accidental shot by someone in their camp, and apparently it all stemmed from, I mean, they're conflicting reports about what happened. Some people say there was a dice game that got heated, and then people started shooting, and one of the people in the Takeoff and Quavo camp ended up shooting Takeoff in the head. Yeah, it's really sad that this many rappers are dying this way, and it's just, and so also said that we actually, this video of Takeoff laying in his blood with it's the whole thing's a mess. But yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, that was cringy to say the least. Just uncomfortable to see someone in that manner being displayed on the internet. It's just, there should be some sort of I don't know, almost like social etiquette around that by now. We've seen it a lot of times, but I guess for somebody on his scale, you just never think you're gonna wake up and see something like that. So it's very saddening. I was actually like in the middle of a meeting when I found out about it, and my employee, she's like, Takeoff died. I was like, what? It was just shocking, very, very shocking. And so my heart goes out to him and his family. It's just unnecessary.
Completely. He's only 28. Like, I mean, anyway, I think all that needs to be said has been said. I think there's also a gun violence piece about this. I mean, aside from just the senselessness with which a lot of this happens, and how like just so many people in, and I hate to say the hip hop community, but I mean, we're seeing a lot of this among rappers who are just dying over things that shouldn't rise to that level. But I think outside of that, I think America, it goes back to America's gun control issue, and why so many people have guns, and including people who are clearly terrible shots. Because if it was somebody on their team, then clearly he shouldn't be with a gun to begin with, because he can't aim. But yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's just with, you can't even picture something like that going down, and then you hear the actual backstory on it, and it's like, your own people shot you. Like, that's just awful. It's just really bad. really sad.
And the fact that it all supposedly started from a dice game. I mean, we still don't know how true that is, but the overwhelming reporting says there was a dice game, and that's where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, it's a terrible way to go. Especially for someone who had so much to live for. I mean, listen, I feel like there's so much to say, and there's almost nothing to say at all. Like,
yeah, I feel like, I don't know. It's still kind of piercing in a way. It's like we're still dealing with the emotional aspect of it. The funeral is supposed to be this Friday, so
yes,
it hasn't been properly laid to rest. So it's just, I don't know. I think that I want to hear some more conclusive information about what actually transpired. There's a lot of hearsay going around, but what really happened? An opportunity to hear from Quavo. He hasn't spoken on it either. So I just think that there's a lot that we have to learn. But again, as you said, senseless, silly, dice. Come on, you guys. It goes to the issue of like, why were you there? I guess that's my question. Like, why? You should be at a level where that you're, I don't want to say like untouchable, because nobody's untouchable, but like you just shouldn't be in certain environments.
Yeah.
Once you reach a certain threshold of money.
I would agree. Now, the thing is, actually, the dice game was happened at a relatively upscale venue. So I think one of Jay Prince's son, Jay Prince Jr., I believe, was hosting a party. And I remember distinctly, so he actually advertised the party on Instagram. So he says, oh yeah, party at the bowling alley or whatever, and says, DM me for details or what. And I saw that and thought, why would he post this, considering how like high profile he is? Why would you just like give this open invite to the public? It's to me, it sounded dangerous. And so to see that, and then literally hours later hear that Takeoff was killed at that event is, I mean, I hate to feel like I was proven correct, but like,
yeah,
it wasn't smart.
No, I mean, it's like they invited madness, and it's, it goes back to the, it's the circular thing of like, people, celebrities and people who are celebrity adjacent posting their locations. And it's like, it just needs to be 101. You just don't do it. It's unnecessary. But we have this culture on the internet of flaunting where we're at and look at who I'm with and all of this, that, and the other. And you can die for it. You can literally die from trying to show off your like locale. I just think it's sad, but it's true. Right. So when do you change how you operate is the question.
Right. And it's another part of this that kind of breaks my heart is that Offset was on bad terms with Quavo and Takeoff. I mean, the Beagles was basically disbanded, and so for something like this to happen now, I'm sure he's not doing so well.
Both of them, yeah. I mean,
right.
Quavo, Offset, the entire camp is just got to be in a really, really rough place right now. So again, I just feel for everybody involved.
Terrible. But yeah, we wait. I mean, the record label has gone with the line of, oh, this was an accident. So who knows what will come out of the investigation. But apparently there's a person of interest, but not much else has happened since his passing. So we'll see. Changing gears, it's been a long week and a half or 2 weeks at this point for Kyrie Irving from the Brooklyn Nets, who's been very problematic for sure. But I think, what's the word? Like, do we call it stupid? Do we call it?
What's the word for what specifically, for him or for
him? For him,
okay.
But the whole situation, I feel like stupid doesn't quite get to it. Like, I mean, he definitely is stupid. I think he definitely isn't smart enough for the conversations he's trying to have. Mm-hmm. But let's just take it a step back first, and just so for everyone watching, to let them know that how we got here. So Kyrie Irving posted a link to a documentary, and it was one of these, Black Israelite docs that claim that Black people are really the original Jews. And apparently the documentary also says that the Jewish people, as we know, the white Jewish people worship Satan and things of that nature. So of course he was asked about it, said, why would you spread this? And this is coming in the heels of Kanye West's comments. Mm-hmm. So he's asked about it and says that, he gets very defensive.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of the title?
By putting it out there, people are going to say that you are
promoting. Yeah, put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but it's not.
You put things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is not.
So let's move on.
Filled with anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing that.
Another human being. I can post whatever I want. So say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that I
don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
It's
no people that you're making up, bro. Move on.
But by posting
what you did. Move on. Next question.
Anybody
do you guys have any more questions for me?
And they're going to say,
you guys have any more questions? Because this is going to be a clip. This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
Oh, this is another answering your question. Oh, my God. Let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
And then the next day, there's a statement released by the Nets saying that they and Kyrie will be donating $500,000 each to the Anti-Defamation League, which is an organization that fights anti-Semitism. They reject his donation, and then he then unfortunately he's asked again in another press conference about everything that happened, and he didn't emphatically condemn the movie and say that he does not believe in what it says.
Do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm gonna repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not going to turn into a spin around cycle of questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear though is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
So that happens. He gets suspended indefinitely for at least 5 games, but it could be forever at this point, who knows? And it's now ballooned into this whole thing, right? And now other NBA players are having to speak out against him. And so, first of all, he's being really reckless with his career, I think. But it really just kills me that there are so many Black people that want to be things other than Black. It feels like I think ultimately this whole Black Israelite thing is kind of anti-Black in my opinion. Like it feels like you don't want to be African, right? Like why are you creating all this new shit? So it's really
sorry.
What's really going on, right?
Yeah.
So it's just and unfortunately, I think a lot of these people actually end up being quite, I want to say, conservative in their politics. Like this really, if we had to make a Venn diagram, there would be an overlap between like the Black Israelite types, but also like, hey, Erica's
Hey, Erica.
and also like the people who like, Black Republicans. So it's really like weird, it's a weird vortex of beliefs that kind of like meet, and unfortunately it seems to be gaining prominence with people like Kyrie Irving, who I think is a relatively mainstream figure espousing those views. So I guess on to your thoughts.
It's people with a lot to lose saying things recklessly. Like, number one, just consider your environment. You play for the Brooklyn Nets of all teams. Right. There is a huge population of Jewish, people within the Brooklyn area. So it's like, to think that with them having that foothold, the city, and across the world, obviously, but, specifically in that locale, that there weren't going to be crazy ramifications for you making a statement like that, or even if he unknowingly did it, because I think that he had some intentions of just representing like, Black people wake up, be aware type. That was like almost a message, but he fumbled it in a way. So instead of just owning that moment and saying, okay, I messed up, like, sorry, this is what I was going for. like, this is what happened. He didn't do that. And it's going to probably wind up costing a lot of money like Kanye. I mean, he's not a billionaire, so he's going to drop those levels, but he's going to lose for what he's doing.
I mean, the suspension is actually an unpaid, so he's not going to be paid for those games.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think there are a lot of people who are trying to make political statements that they just don't have the range for. Mm-hmm. And at the risk of saying shut up and dribble, I think Kyrie Irving makes a strong case for that. Like, just don't say anything outside of basketball, because he doesn't seem equipped, and it's not clear if he's trying to be malicious or deliberately trying to offend. But I mean, how could you not understand that this is offensive, right? And so
where are the PR people? Where are the PR people?
Where they at?
There are some people out here who need some jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly.
Support your sisters and brothers. Hire some PR folks immediately. Kanye and Kyrie, please.
It's urgent. It's urgent. I think that's one of the downfalls of, I guess the downsides rather, of social media, where everyone feels like they can be their own spokesperson, and so there are not enough professionals making statements for famous people, which we need more of that, because it's not working out at all.
Okay.
At all. So we'll see where that goes. It's just, I mean, and unfortunately, people are using this as an opportunity to say, oh yeah, you see, they're right. Kanye was right. Like, okay, you see, they're so powerful that if you speak out against them, they end your career. Which I definitely think there's something to be said about the types of hatred the types of hate speech that are allowed to happen publicly. Like, I don't think anti-Black racism ever gets met this fiercely. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not as strong of an argument as they think it is, right? It ultimately comes down to a group of people not having a very red line as far as hate speech against them, a red line that unfortunately Black people do not have. And I say that because Kanye wore the Confederate flag in his jacket about 9 years ago, and then said that slavery was a choice. And there's tons of Black people still listen to his music, supporting him, making excuses for him. And so as much as you might want to say, oh, look, you see, we're right, the society is controlled by this group of people, I think the bigger observation is that this group of people doesn't play about themselves, and apparently too many of us play about us, I think.
Right. I think those are big facts. And, I think, a lot of people are going to be triggered by that, because they were, listening to, what was it, the Sunday service.
Listen to watching the documentary on Netflix,
Right. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I watched that documentary because I was curious, but it proved a lot of things. I mean, it proved that, while he is a genius, he's very problematic just as a person.
I actually don't think he is a genius. Actually, I really don't.
Let me say musical.
I think he's a talented rapper, talented producer, but I don't really know that it rises to the level of genius. And also the fact that he tries so hard to sell himself as a genius makes me not buy into that idea, because I don't think real geniuses try so hard to make you believe that they are. You just see it, right? Mm-hmm. And, and actually we talked about this in the last episode as well. I think he definitely tries to play on the idea that people associate enigma with ingenuity, which I don't see that to be true. But I think people think when you're weird, it must be because you're just operating at this different level of thought, which is just false. Mm-hmm. And I think Kanye exposes himself as not being that smart when he talks about anything outside of music, right? So
right, and that was why I had to reframe. That's why I had to reframe when you can't throw that word genius around.
Musical genius,
genius. I was a day one fan, but you have to start to, the whole separation of the artist from, the man and all of that. It gets blurry, and to me, it was blurry for a while, but now it's clear. He's lost his way, and I can't be down with it anymore. So
right. Yeah, I'm not one of those people who compartmentalize. If you show me to be problematic, I usually will drop you, with very, very few exceptions. So
yeah. No, open and shut.
Let's talk about Drake's new album and how he has just been extremely disappointing with a lot of the lines. First of all, there was one about Serena, her husband called her husband a groupie, and what somebody said, buddy, not trying hard. That man being himself, but has a few mental issues. At the end of the day, buddy, so human regardless of celebrities. That okay?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I mean, yeah, is he human? He is, but he needs some help. He needs some help.
And the point I always make about the mental health argument is that it kind of it insinuates that that being mentally ill makes you racist, which is, we all know, is false. So I don't think that's a strong argument. I think if anything, it removes whatever filter you might have had. So yeah, I can't go for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go for that one. Decorous.
That's my
hope. Oh, you know who that is?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Differences in opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I just, I have to, because I think it's too easy of an out, and I can't let it happen. But anyways, back to Drake. Says that Serena's husband's a groupie, which is funny. And Serena's husband actually responded via tweet, and it's just funny because Drake, I think, has shown really groupie-ish behavior over the years. First of all, he was dating Serena and always in the stands, cheering her on. And he's always been like, looks like a proud basketball wife anytime he goes to NBA games. It's really strange that he would call someone a groupie, considering how he conducts himself around a lot of athletes. So let's, thoughts.
Agreed. I love how her husband just came back and was like, to quote Lil Wayne, baby, I'm a groupie. I don't care. I will be that behind my wife, and I will also do all of these XYZ things. He goes on to like list all of these, contributions that he's made, and ways that he's tried to, cultivate different, groups, organizations, and donate money, all these great things that he's done. Right. So he had a nice classy clap back, as I would call it. And so, yeah, I was happy for him that he stood up for himself against Drake, because that was just so silly and ridiculous and unnecessary, as were other comments that he's made on this album, but I'm sure you're going to get to that. So
right. And of course, I think the worst of it was the comment about Megan Thee Stallion. I guess it was a double entendre where he says, oh, she says she's lying about her shots, but she's still a stallion, basically making a BBL kind of reference. But
yeah, there wasn't nothing BBL about that. That had Megan's name written all over it. And he can try to flip it if he wants to, but anybody with like an ounce of common sense knows that reference was going to land at Megan's feet, no pun intended. And it's just really silly that he would do that. In the same way that Beyonce can be made to change the lyrics to her album, Drake can too, and he should, because it's egregious. I think it was right.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny. I'm not too surprised, because I think he already showed where he stood on that issue by allowing himself to be seen publicly with Tory Lanez, right? They always have these pickup basketball games that they would post on Instagram. So in my mind, he already let us know where he stood on this, right? And it's unfortunate that I don't know if he really does believe that Megan is lying, or maybe this is just like some kind of Canadian solidarity. I'm not sure, but I'm trying my best to make sense of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I love that Megan actually responded to him and said that that it was corny, and I agree. I mean, it's just I'm not sure how we got to a point where everyone can just decide that someone lied about being shot, and she's putting everyone through this because she felt like making that up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Decorous, you're always on the wrong side of every issue.
I mean, but it did. It did. Drake is a very smart businessman. He knows that saying something like that, he knew exactly who was going to be triggered by it. He didn't care. So that's what's troublesome for me. Like, so what I've been told is that it was about some other chick and something, but whatever. She's the lesser known of the two individuals. So he should have taken accountability for you know, the big fish that was going to get caught up in the net. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he should have been thinking about. So sorry.
And ultimately we know that's a lie anyways, right? Because, well, I mean, is the other girl's name Stout? Like, there's no way that was meant for anyone but Megan. But, you know,
agreed.
It is what it is. And actually, I heard the album is really good. Unfortunately, I think I might skip on that one. We'll see how long I can hold out for, because I was a huge Drake fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is highly, highly unfortunate. Yes, he said a foreign high social life chick from Germany. That's what the line was about.
Yeah.
So that's what the chorus said.
Her name is Stallion. We don't care. We don't care.
Thank you.
Close. It's too close.
Thank you. We don't care. Winners and losers. Alexis, as always, I'll let you go first.
Oh, you know what? I should let you go first. I am not ready.
You're not? Okay, yeah. Why not? Let's do it. So my big winner actually is Young Miami, because just the way she's kind of just, you know, settled into this new billionaire life with Diddy, who actually was literally just announced as a billionaire by Forbes. I'm happy for her. I don't know. I love it. It just, yeah. I think that couple works.
Yeah, that's an interesting, you know, because they did the whole thing. He was like, I'm single, she's single. But then she was like, but we go together. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that interview, like, yeah. So what? So she said, "What we is," and then he says, "I don't know," and then she goes, and it sounded like she was forcing him into a relationship, and of course there've been other women who've popped up, you know, out the woodworks in the last weeks and months, trying to throw her off. But I think she understands what time it is. I think she understands that she's probably not the only one. And, you know, listen, she was at a party with Mary J. Blige. They were partying like best friends. Oh, wow. Erica said it's the best transaction for both. Damn.
I mean, you know, it's looking a little transactional to me. I'm going to go ahead and agree with Erica there. It is, you know, I think it benefits Diddy. He always has to have the hot young thing on his arm. Stay with a little hot young thing on his arm, and so this is just, you know, par for the course, you know, and it's doing major things for her career. I mean, she is going to be a household name after dating Diddy. Like, it doesn't even matter where you go; people are going to know exactly who she is. So
yeah.
good for
Jay's the whole time. I'm thinking, like, literally, like, she could be in the same party with Beyonce, because I mean, it's just because Jay-Z was there, right? So now these are people that she normally wouldn't be that, you know, close, like sitting on the same couch with Jay-Z. I mean, that's yeah.
Go ahead, Carisha.
Right. I'm not mad at her at all. So yeah, that is my winner for this week. My losers, there are so many. I don't even know where to start. I actually have them written down right here. Give me a second. All right, let's start with the people of Georgia.
Ooh, yes.
Because Herschel Walker should have never been that close to becoming a senator, and it's still yet to be seen if Warnock is going to get reelected, because they're going to a runoff. So yes, they are absolutely losing right now. The fact that we're even having this conversation is just wild, and I'm scared. I'm scared, you know, because this is not. I mean, this is not the kind of person you want to be in the Senate at all. So.
Right.
We shall see. So definitely the state of Georgia is losing. Honestly, the state of Texas, but we knew that, you know, I kind of knew that Beto never really stood a chance. And really all the other like purple and purplish states that had an opportunity to get a black convention needs to happen. Erica, I agree. And no, really, I mean, there's just something, I mean, I think we need to change the way we talk about politics, because there's this, I think this is an American thing in general, where we just act like there are no right answers with a lot of things, and act like all opinions are created equal. And so that's why you have the Democrats and Republican Party just kind of struggling for power, like their positions are, you know, equal. Like, if you look at what the Republican Party stands for now, there's no reason why anyone, unless you specifically want these bad things to happen, should be confused about what party to select. And it's just sad to see so many people voting against their interests. But that's where we are. So off to the runoffs. Hopefully Warnock is able to pull it off. My next loser, I think we've already talked about Drake for sure. Drake is a loser. Kyrie Irving, Elon Musk.
Oh God.
So yes, in the last, it's going on 2 weeks now. Claimed, assumed ownership of Twitter. His $44 billion deal to acquire the company was approved, and so he immediately dissolved the board. So there is no board to check anything he's doing. So, and made himself the sole director and CEO, and has laid off half the company. And it's just really sad because I have a lot of friends who worked at Twitter who are now unemployed because of that. But just also the platform is changing right before our eyes, right? So the use of the N-word is up by 500% since Elon Musk took ownership. And that's just scary. Scary. So yeah, there are other layoffs in the tech industry, Erica. But I think I feel like those other layoffs feel like, I guess, business decisions, and Elon, I think, just seems to be doing whatever. It just doesn't look like there's a lot of thought applied to what he's doing. But also, it's a bad deal, right? Because I think he overpaid for Twitter, but that's neither here nor there. He has the money, so I'm not crying about it. My next loser, of course, Kyrie Irving. I really think I think there's a crisis. And I'm not even going to say this is just a Black people thing, just in general, a crisis of people who think contrarianism is intellect, right? They think that, because I'm saying something that is in the minority opinion, then I'm smart. And I think that's how a lot of people like Kyrie get done in, right? Because they think that's independent thought, and it's just, and it really isn't. Because if whatever opinion you have is dependent on the popular opinion, then you're not really thinking independently, right? You're just trying to do the opposite. And so you're not independent, you're not smart. And it's so hard to convince these people that they're wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do I think the punishment fits the crime in the Kyrie situation? Not necessarily. I think that they've ran this like manifesto of things that he needs to do in order to sort of get back into good graces. So right. I think they could relax a little bit on that, but I do think he owes a proper apology. And I think that if you're gonna, you have this platform, just use it appropriately, educate yourself. Get somebody with some PR experience to help you out. Run it by them before you make a public statement. Right. I just think that these celebrities need to better position themselves to avoid these unnecessary, predicaments. So
absolutely. And honestly, I think that I agree that it does seem like it's extreme. I won't say extreme. It does seem that they're being really hard on him as far as what he needs to do to get back in the good graces. But the issue with doubling down on bad, statements or stupid statements is that it kind of raises the threshold of what would be considered adequate contrition, right? I think if you apologize the first time and just or let go of it or deleted the tweet after the first day, none of this would be necessary. None, they wouldn't need you to do these, 6 things. But because he kept doubling down and looking like he had no remorse and looked like he was only making those statements because he was forced the first time, they kind of have to do this. Right. Unfortunately, right? It might look extreme, but I think they have to do this. They have to put him through the ringer now because he played hardball, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. Well, and as much as people want to argue about, whether one group of people has a lot of power, okay, if that is in fact true, which it is, they're allowed to use their power how they want to.
That's true.
Right? If they're saying that they're powerful, okay, they're powerful. Okay, you offended powerful people. So
and let's take some notes about how they react to certain things when their community is what they perceive to be attacked. Do you know what I mean? They band together, they band together swiftly and they take action. And maybe if, as a community, some of us brown people could do that,
Right.
maybe things would be different.
Right. Erica says she thinks the standards for him to rejoin are egregious and that forcing him to apologize. I mean, Erica, I don't think that's an unreasonable opinion to have. But like I just said, you know, if he, because he doubled down, he kind of raised the stakes for making this go away, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's unfortunate. And my final loser.
Ooh, that list is long.
It is long.
It's so
It
long.
is long. He has to. It's a $500,000 donation. He has to meet with people from the ADL and like 3 other. It has to take training. Like they got this man taking training. I mean, I think he listen. He brought this onto himself, so I don't really feel that bad for him. But yeah, my final loser is DaBaby, who has a BOGO deal for his tickets in Alabama. So he's supposed to
Are they on Groupon? Are they on
Groupon? I think it was. I hope not. I think I saw the Eventbrite link. But he has a November 15th show at a 1,300 capacity venue in Alabama, and he's having to sell tickets 2 for 1 because he's not able to fill a 1,300 venue, which is just sad and goes back to the point about making it right. Agreed. Good journey. I feel like these are all your friends.
If you're my friend, drop a heart.
But yeah, agreed. Karma came quick for DaBaby, and it's really, it goes back to our point about Kyrie, how like you say things that are bad, you double down, and you know, it just, you know, things go left, right? And yeah, and the thing about being a musician is that people can just not support you, right? Like Kyrie gets paid anyways, right? Because he's a basketball player, but like you can get to see how the audience feels, and so it's unfortunate. Some people say though that DaBaby was falling off anyway, and that people tend to be more forgiving when the music is good, and so ultimately this is happening because his music is not good enough for him to be problematic. What do you think?
Yeah, his music, I mean, he had some bangers or whatever, but yeah I do agree. You know, it's similar to the whole Kanye thing. Like people really, you know, still mess with his music or whatever. So they were like, you're ridiculous, but we still rocking with you. The fact that he doesn't have that, I think does.
Or I think a better example, R. Kelly, how like
people
turned a blind eye for.
Well, R. Kelly has the Black community in a chokehold. I think he still does, even in light of everything that has happened. You still gonna hear a little "Step in the Name of Love."
Unfortunately,
though, you know, many of us are on this like he's canceled. Don't forget he's canceled. Like you're still gonna hear it. So just he's not. DaBaby's not there. Sorry.
Yeah. Erica said he needs to work with Drake.
He needs a collab with Drake. Yeah, that might bring him back.
Yeah, and that might help, but we'll see. But yeah, those are my losers. Alexis, your turn.
Okay, so my winner for the week are the LSU Tigers. And so if I have any LSU Tigers out there, can we get some purple and gold hearts in the comments? Drop them. So obviously I am an LSU Tiger, and we beat Alabama in overtime in what was the most amazing game by a 2-point conversion. It was thrilling, exhilarating, all the things. So LSU is definitely, I see some LSU's Tigers joining. Come on out, drop those purple and gold hearts in the comments.
Love it.
And then I want to go ahead and give Drake my top loser because, you know, the album's called Her Loss, but it's his loss. He's salty about Serena. Goodbye. Don't say that woman's name in your music. Don't come for her. Don't talk about her husband being a groupie. He can be a groupie all he wants because that's his wife. And, you know, also coming for the iconic Megan Thee Stallion and trying to fake like you didn't. Like, I just think that is still super, super duper trifling for him to do. I'm disappointed. He actually was supposed to be doing a concert in Harlem. He did cancel because he is going to be at Takeoff's, I guess. I don't know if he's going to be there, but in respect
Yes.
to Takeoff's,
it was postponed a month, I believe. So yeah, till
right.
December. So yeah.
But I was trying to see if I could slide up in that thing, and then all the controversy came out, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't think I can support this." I'm very much like you. I'm on some like, you canceled. I'm on the cancel culture because do better. That's all I can say.
Right. It's just. I mean, I think it's just. It's terrible that people would think that someone lied about being shot, and then are now like re-traumatizing her about it. So.
Right. They say Black women are most unprotected people in society, and it just to see that being shown to be true by somebody that we support and love is really hurtful.
It is, and I've also noticed how like people tend to really band together to bash Black women in ways that I don't know that I see for any other like demographic, where it's just like. Because Tory Lanez didn't even have like a little like Tory hive till he shot Megan, and it's just it's the whole thing's strange. I think.
Yeah.
Like
it is. Yeah. No words.
None.
Overit.com.
Alexis, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. Let the people know where they can find you on social media before we head out. I mean, of course, if they're watching right now, they can see, but just say it anyways.
All right. So, of course, Jet Set Lex or Bells and Whistles _DC. And as always, thank you for having me, Ronce.
Of course. And that's Bells as in Southern Belle. So just
Southern BELLE Bell.
Yeah. Right. All right. No Hipsters Pod, episode 66. Talk to you next time. Bye.